I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And roll.
All you guys. President Sharon Kinley, Vice President Patricia Miller, Treasurer Carl Gilmore, Secretary Crystal Andel, and Trustee Jason Petz. We have staff members Julie Millibeck, Lisa Pappas, Deb Maxwell, and Laura Bautista, who will be a staff member until about the end of this meeting. And then we have our illustrious guests from CCS International, our owners' representatives, Nagel Hartray, our architect, Bill Wilson, our real estate agent, and two actual members of the public. Yeah. Thankfully, none of the high school government kids came, or we have been standing room only.
They did come.
They didn't stay.
So we welcome you all to this meeting, and the very first thing on our agenda is the public comment. And so if you are of the public and wish to make a comment.
I came prepared today because I always forget. I just want to mention two things because I know you have a pretty full agenda. One was, I know I mentioned this before, but I absolutely love this shout bomb thing. I found it, when I first got it, I remember telling you all that I thought, oh, well, this is a gimmick, but I'll give it a try. Found it very useful. And now that I'm doing some more things and using library resources even a little bit more than I did, it's just wildly helpful to me because you forget things, you lose things, and as long as I can remember where I put those books and materials in the house, this thing helps me a lot. It is a little insistent. I had a book I put on hold, and by about day 4 of the 5, it kind of read in my mind as, get your books, they're on hold. And it wasn't really that way, but it felt a little that way. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was, Julie knows and some people know, and we'll talk about it more another time, the library is one of the area entities that is helping us. I'm a knitter as a hobby. Elemental Yarns is a new knit store that just opened in town, part of our chamber. Cindy Cooper over there and I are cooking up a little something more special for something called Worldwide Knit in Public Day. This year that's Saturday, June 13th. But most people do some event during that course of that week. We're picking the Tuesday cruise night, the 16th is when we'll do a bigger event. Cindy will do something at the shop on the 13th as well, but that'll be more casual. But the chamber and the library is helping us with getting word out and engaging people about what materials their library has for crafters in general and knitters in general. I know the library has a social knitting group that meets here but takes a break for the summer. Apparently, according to Ms. Chavez, they're all excited to take part. And I just wanted to mention that the library is once again helping people out in the community bring something good out that's different and just another aspect of our great facility here. Thank you all very much.
And thank you, and we appreciate your bringing that up, that we do so many good things. Anything from?
Hi, my name is Heather Kasmark, and I'm a resident of Plainfield, and I'm just doing a follow-up basically on the open house that was held last month, and just to kind of see what the referendum initiatives will be about, and hopefully I can support that in some way, in some capacity. So thank you for having me.
We hope so too.
Thanks for coming.
Yes.
And I have one comment, actually, as a member of the public, resident, parent, the new Gale courses, the 6-week instructor-led online courses are fabulous. I was so happy to be able to sign my daughter up for the ACT SAT prep. They have a part 1 and a part 2, so it's 12 weeks total, but she'll be able to do her ACT and SAT prep for free. Yay, library.
Yes.
Wow. That's really
This
amazing.
is an awesome thing. We should do more of this.
And if we had some room.
And I'll be a part of the public soon. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to say thank you for all these years working with you as a board, and just you guys have been a great group to work with, and just kudos to the librarians and everybody who I've worked with, who are, I am telling you, one of the most dedicated group I've ever worked with anywhere, and that's for-profit and nonprofit. So I've been in both areas, and this group is fabulous. couldn't have a better group.
We appreciate your service and you will be missed. And if you want these changes.
I will pick them up on my way out.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Laura. Anyone else? Anyone at the table have anything to say before we begin in earnest?
Well, I think that going to the coffee with the mayor, because the other two of you were busy and usually are there, I thought it was quite an excellent experience.
Yeah.
And there was a really good crowd there.
That usually is, yeah.
Yes, interesting. So, and Julie, you were there and announcing some of the things as well. But I thought it was something I certainly want to go back and see again, because it was a really good experience. The other thing I attended in the community that I thought was just of interest was the Will County Foundation. And at this point, at least I got to see some of the people I otherwise don't get an opportunity to see, and to hear about some needs that might be identified more or less by our community in terms of like communication as far as resources for people who are using nonprofits. So I'm very interested in.
Well, Carl and I have been traipsing up and down Lockwood Street. We, every year, the Historical Society, in conjunction with the Plainfield School District and the Foundation for Excellence, we give third grade walking tours, local history walking tours to all of the third graders that are in the Plainfield School District. So we will see about 1,200 boys and girls by the next Thursday. And it's been an interesting ride this year. And
It definitely seems like at least 1,200.
every day.
Yes.
And Carl has volunteered to be one of the tour guides, and we have about 20 people that come out to do that. We have 84 slots that we have to fill with volunteers, and so it's been interesting, and the weather has been challenging, and the students are fine. They are. The students are fine, and the cool weather has been a plus in that
Yes.
regard.
Yes.
So that's another little community thing that you see library people doing. And some of the people that work at the library, two of your staffers, Tina Beard and Jenny Stevens, have both volunteered to tour these children around. So it's been an interesting time. So, can we start now? Ready? Yeah. Okay, we have the oath of office, and that's with Deb beside.
Okay, we have Carl F. Gilmore.
Just stand here, or do these individually?
Why don't you
or
come up
using-
front?
We're gonna do it
Okay.
individually, group, you wanna do group?
We can do it as a group if you'd like.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
Yes, I like the group idea, all good.
Krista,
There you go.
if you could come up front.
According to the state statute, it's the
Sharon.
board secretary or a notary can do the oath of office, give the oath of office. So Deb, as our resident notary, will be taking this
Right.
for us.
And we're going to do it as a group.
Okay.
So if you can raise your right hand and repeat after me, and it's written out there too. I state your name,
I, Carl F. Gilmore,
having been elected to the office of Library Trustee of the Plainfield Public Library District
Having been elected to the office of library trustee of the Plainfield Public Library District
in the counties of Will and Kendall, aforesaid,
in
the counties of Will and Kendall aforesaid,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Library Trustee to the best of my ability.
and
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Library Trustee to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Crystal.
Maybe.
This is my second oath of
Or
office.
you could scan it and use it as your screensaver.
There you go.
Someone
All right.
wasn't there.
This is my
I
second
know you're
oath.
very digital.
This is my second oath of office this year, so.
Right.
Great.
I can kind of old hat.
Thanks.
Exciting stuff coming too.
You've all read the Illinois Constitution.
Of course, of course.
I didn't know they had one, so I heard you guys get sworn in.
Really short.
You'd be amazed how many people don't know that we have
I
one.
know. Probably every state has. it.
Yeah, I think they do.
Don't know.
We could always do it
We
afterwards.
might use so much stuff. We can change the name of the state.
Be a referendum to that.
Back
Forward
on
again.
board, all right.
4 more years.
I got 2 more years.
Right.
Our next item is the election of board officers, and the nominating committee met on May 15th. And we do have a slate to present. And did everyone get those minutes?
Yes, everyone should receive those.
That's good. So if you have any questions about those. And we are presenting this slate, and I will present it as a motion to the board to, we will submit this for their approval. And that slate is President Carl Gilmore, Vice President Crystal Anvil, Secretary Vicki Knight, and Treasurer Pat Miller. And I would like that to be accepted as a unanimous consent slate. And that would mean that we would just accept that if it's as, and we would not need to vote on that. But that is, that comes out of committee, and that would be, we would approve that. So, do we have, the motion is on the table, so is there a motion to accept that?
A motion to accept the slate of officers presented for the current board term.
And actually, as a committee
Have a second.
recommendation,
Yeah, there's no second on that because it comes out of committee. So, and so by unanimous consent, we will declare this whole the officers. All in favor?
Aye.
All, any opposed?
okay,
Anybody abstaining?
we don't have a gavel.
So that makes that part go a little more quickly. And we appreciate your understanding of that situation. Now, Carl?
And you did contact Vicki, who's not here tonight, and
Yes,
she
Vicki.
has said that she would.
Yes, Vicki did.
Right.
She did accept it.
Yes,
So.
she did accept that, so, in case you're wondering.
Yes.
Yeah, I
That's
did.
not why she's not here.
Yeah, and I get it,
Confirm
yeah,
that.
yes. And so the next item is the committee appointments, and that's your job now,
Okay.
President Gilmore.
The gavel moves up.
You will be the one that does that, and you can either do that tonight, or you can give it some consideration, or what is your,
My preference would be to do that effective next meeting,
okay?
for a couple of reasons, just to have an opportunity to review that and talk with people and see where their preferences lie, so that everyone is on board with it. We've had some changes with how the bylaws have the committee appointments made, so I just want to go through that. And the only pressing thing that we have right now is that we do need to set a finance committee meeting, I believe.
But that's the one thing that treasurer does,
Right.
chair that finance
Right.
committee.
What I would like to suggest is that maybe we use this as a transitional meeting and meet with the current committee as set up. But Pat, I'd like to invite you to it, so we'll set a time that you can attend as well, and that way we can move to the new treasurer position along with that meeting.
And technically, she'll chair that meeting, and you'll be ex officio as president. So,
That works.
and then we just keep the other 2 members.
Well, but if we haven't set a new committee, then wouldn't it operate under the
Close
current?
enough.
It's gonna end up being the same,
It's
right?
6 of one, half a
It's
dozen
one
of the
us
other.
7.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
All right. Anything else, Carl?
So, no, that's all I have on that. I will have those after talking to everyone for next meeting.
About their interests.
Yes.
And the date.
Right, we do, well, that's already,
further down
that-
the
yeah,
agenda.
further down on
Yes,
the,
and the date.
yeah, so we'll get that set.
And so now we will accept the consent agenda of the April 15th, 2015 regular board meeting minutes, the April 15th, 2015 executive session minutes, the recordings of regular meetings to be destroyed August 21st, 2013, and September 18th, 2013. So by acclamation that we accept that consent agenda. But we do have to approve the bills paid and bills payables. We had a total of $229,615.51. Any
And
questions? Any questions?
I did not look good. I thought, appreciate the Chase breakdown.
Actually, you should be doing that.
I know, but you know, he just won't jump in.
Well, you just got the rhythm down, so I thought I'd let you keep going.
Clearly, we need like switch nameplates or
All right,
something.
here we go. Oh, that would be even more confusing.
Okay,
All right, so I would entertain a motion for approval of bills paid and bills payable as listed, unless there are any questions.
I so moved.
All right, is there a second? Jason, great, thank you. All right, and that's roll call, Julie?
Sharon,
yes.
Pat,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Crystal, Carl.
Yes. All right, and it passes. All right, next item on the agenda then is committee reports. And Pat, you've got personnel committee?
Yes, and in the packet, the minutes were not in there because that is executive session minutes per se that we need to be aware of. But the report has been presented, and our task is completed except for a meeting which I will have with Julie on Friday to review all of the evaluations that we received and what the committee felt certainly we need to share with her. Since there is a multi-year contract in place with all of the benefits procedures spelled out for the coming year, there was no need for us to address that.
Right. Okay, great. Look forward to hearing about the meeting on the 22nd. Next meeting. All right. Finance committee then. We need to set a meeting, and that is currently myself, Crystal, and then Samantha. And with Pat invited, obviously Samantha's not here, so we'll have to hope that she's available, but Crystal, what does your calendar look like? Well, do Friday afternoons still work for you in general?
Every other Friday afternoon.
Every other Friday? So are we this Friday or the other Friday right now?
Friday the 29th, but that's right before.
No,
That's
Memorial
it.
Day's this weekend.
This
Would be the
Memorial
weekend
Day.
after. That would work for me. Pat, are you
I
available
would be
that
available
Friday?
on Friday afternoon.
Julie, are you available?
I would like to request we push it to the following week because we still are not 100% sure that we will have the health insurance renewal
Oh,
numbers.
okay, all right. So everything we need to talk about
I have still
is
not gotten, that is the last piece of the working budget that is hanging out there, and the broker is working on refining some numbers before the carriers.
Okay. All right, so then the following week would not be the week, it would be the other week.
The opposite week. Yep,
What
sorry,
day?
that messes you up.
Unless you want
The-
to meet them.
Or the 12th. Because that's still before the
Oh,
board
that's true.
meeting.
That is still before the board meeting, isn't
It's
it?
still before the board meeting.
Can we do that Friday the 12th?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, let's set that then. 2 o'clock?
Is that work for you, Chris?
2 o'clock. I have a 3 o'clock appointment,
1:30?
Can we back it up to 1:30 then? Or
That-
is that squeezing between?
2 is a best split the difference?
but 2 o'clock.
Okay. I don't think
They
it'll
don't,
take
they
real
don't
long.
usually
Yeah.
take more than about 45 minutes anyway.
I mean, I can probably move
yes.
At 2 o'clock
Hopefully
on the problem.
Yes, excellent. And then Deb, can you contact Samantha about that? And make
Yes,
sure
I
that
will.
she's- Thank you. All right. So then our final committee report then is from those who went to the bond referendum workshop, which I guess falls to you, Crystal.
If there's anything you'd like to
Vicky's
report.
not here, right?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, that was a while ago. There's a lot of things that's happened in between there.
Were there any large takeaways that you were
You
surprised
didn't hear
by?
Carl.
Oh, sorry.
I recall, Vicki and I both thought it was very interesting. It was not as much of a sell as I had thought it would be. And they had some interesting, information regarding the timing of your referendum.
Mm, okay.
And they discussed, you know, your spring versus your fall referendum and the statistics that relate to each of those elections.
Okay.
Where in your spring election, typically you're gonna have your diehard conservative type voters vote in that election, as opposed to your general election where you're gonna have a broader, you know, voting population.
Sure.
So,
So were they making a recommendation,
they
or
weren't
were they
making
just
a
laying out the
recommendation, they were
information?
kind of suggesting, you know,
Okay.
it seemed like they were leaning a little heavier towards one as opposed to the other.
Okay.
I picked up that, you know, they were recommending, you know, the fall election, but, you know, we have to look at our demographics, our statistics, do our due diligence, and
Right.
basically decide what works best for us.
Right.
It was interesting, though, to listen to their statistics,
Mhm. Great,
but
thank
it's
you.
all a science.
Oh, we did well, and hopefully having John and every library on board will help us mitigate some of that difference in the voter turnout.
It was interesting, though.
Yeah. Great, thank you. All right, then we have the library director's report.
And I guess I'll start with the fact that I met with John Tresca from Every Library and had some really great conversation about getting started with Every Library, which is a national nonprofit group that supports libraries in their efforts to pass ballot measures. And they offer referendum consulting free of charge to libraries' Citizens Referenda Committee, as well as support for boards and library staff in informational campaigns, which are very different from the actual voter support campaign. So one of the things that we'll be asking you to do at the next board meeting is to approve a morning closing on a Friday, right at the end of August, to do some informational training with Every Library. Just a quick 3-hour training for the staff to talk about the informational campaign and how to address questions across the desk, how to frame their responses, and what they can say at that point. And then later, as we move into having an actual ballot measure, and we will do some follow-up training with them about what is appropriate to say as a library staff member when there is a ballot question that is going to be on the election once the board has gotten that far. So that will be upcoming. There was something else I was supposed to say.
Strategic planning?
The strategic plan draft is in your packet. We do not necessarily have to take that on tonight. That can be something that you can read through and table, particularly if there's any additional information you would like. The current strategic plan goes through the end of this fiscal year, and it kind of ends with the, and then we go to referendum thing. So this really takes it that next step and discusses how the space issues become primary for us at this point, and that the focus of the board over the next several years will be addressing the space and facilities needs of the library. So that brings together things like the building evaluation we did in 2012 and the results from the open houses that we did just last month, and brings that together along with some of the library history on where we were with the 2009 referendum and where we are today. I think that's about it for me. Staff happenings, just a reminder that we had 3 new staff members so far this week. Kylie Mullane has joined us as a reference librarian. We have our new summer page, Cassandra Deal, and then Renee Herbst started as our human resources administrator yesterday. So Sanja will be here training Renee through Monday, June 1st. Sanja will be off and packing to move to DC.
Okay. Did you want to say anything else about the other staffing change? Laura's left.
And Laura has left the building. We will be using Zabinski Consulting Services for accounting services outsourcing, at least during this transition phase, as we, you all know about the transition from the MSI software we have been using that is being forced by our server upgrades. We cannot run that software anymore. We either have to buy the new version at a cost of over $7,000, or we have to make a change on our accounting software. So with the timing of Laura's leaving, I decided that this was easiest to go with a company, Zabinski, that we had gotten such great recommendations from other libraries. Kelly, their principal, has had extensive experience as a municipal finance director, municipal finance assistant, and they already do this kind of outsourcing work for a number of other libraries that all gave them glowing recommendations. And not only that, they can help get us up and running on the new software, as well as keeping the old software running on the old server through the end of the audit, so that FY 2015 ends with all of the journal entries, general ledger updated, year closed out, and then the software can finally go away. As well as getting us set up on our new nonprofit custom setup of QuickBooks Premier. With the 3-user license and the custom setup, it's still about 1/10 the cost of going with the other software. So,
Will there be some kind of evaluation for this and ongoing, or?
Absolutely, and my thought is that once we get through, we're anticipating having the audit visit in August again, and that once that is finished and all of the adjusting entries are made, the year is closed out, that at that point we'll reevaluate, are we ready to hire again at that point?
Are you saying this coming up?
Yes. Yeah. So basically we're committed to taking this through the summer, and then we'll reevaluate.
So 3-month stopgap and review. The next item is action items, unfinished business. First of which is a suggestion brought up last month about repealing ordinance 1977-1 prohibiting